everyone, welcome back to Cruise Blog. This is Haley, and today we're going to be talking about the 10 things that I loved and hated about the Norwegian Bliss cruise ship. Let's get started. Whether you've cruised 100 times or it's your first time planning a cruise vacation, you are sure to discover incredible things on board every ship that wow, surprise, and thrill you. Guests are guaranteed to discover at least something they love on board every cruise ship. While simultaneously, there may be some things that you really dislike about a particular ship. That is the beauty of the cruise line industry. There is a cruise line and a ship to fit every traveler's taste, style, budget, and preferences. Come along with me as we explore my recent experience on board the Norwegian Bliss and the things I enjoyed and disliked while on board my first Breakaway Plus Class sailing. Number 1. Theater shows. The Norwegian Bliss has some of the very best theater-style shows that I've seen on a cruise ship so far. The Norwegian Bliss currently has 2 great musical shows titled Six and Jersey Boys. These 2 ships are the longest theater-style shows that I've ever seen on a cruise ship so far, spanning over 75 minutes each in length. I highly recommend, if you're given the chance to sail on the Norwegian Bliss, to watch both of these shows. Along with wonderful talent, the music is amazing, and the shows are conducted with great precision and incredible professionalism. Number 2. Disliked, not being able to dock. I sailed on board the Norwegian Bliss this past February, and we were scheduled on an itinerary that consisted of 2 sea days and 3 port stops. Unfortunately, on our day that we were to visit Costa Maya, the winds were fairly heavy and our ship was unable to dock for the day due to safety concerns. This meant that we, unfortunately, were not able to have a 4th port day. However, on the upside, it meant that we were given a 3rd day at sea in which to explore the Norwegian Bliss. Number 3. Liked. Food and the main dining experience. So far, amongst my larger cruise ship experiences, Norwegian Cruise Line has the best food I've had thus far. Norwegian Cruise Line provides an extensive variety of food selections for guests to enjoy and savor. I especially thought that the buffet on board was the best I've seen on a larger scale cruise ship. The food quality was excellent, and there was a large variety of options to choose from. My personal favorite was the Indian cuisine section of the buffet that was offered during lunch and dinner times. Additionally, I very much enjoyed the main dining venues on board the Norwegian Bliss. Guests can eat at the Taste and Savor restaurants for their included cruise fare, as well as at the larger dining room called the Manhattan Room. Guests can order as much or as little as they like at the main dining venues, and are sure to find options that fit their dietary restrictions and preferences. Number 4. Disliked. Themed parties not being in the Spice H2O. Those who sail with Norwegian Cruise Line know that the cruise line is well known for its themed parties. These parties are for those guests who are 18 years and older and usually consist of dancing and DJs playing pop tunes. Norwegian Cruise Line ships often have an area on board called Spice H2O. This outdoor area on board is reserved for guests 18 years and older and usually is made up of multiple hot tubs, a bar, a dance floor, great ocean views, and occasionally a wading pool. The Norwegian Bliss conducted its Norwegian Cruise Line famous themed parties not in the Spice H2O, but on the main pool deck. This meant that there were some families around and guests under the age of 18 who were present at the party. There's not necessarily anything wrong with that, however, it does change the atmosphere of a party that is supposed to be meant exclusively for adult guests. Number 5. Liked. Unique activities. The Norwegian Bliss has some of the most unique activities on board that I've experienced on a ship so far. The Norwegian Bliss Speedway, thrilling water slides, and laser tag are just among some of the really interesting and fun activities on board that offer truly unique vacation experiences to its guests. I truly had a wonderful time trying out these unique activities on board, and I would highly recommend that prospective Norwegian Cruise Line guests look into a sailing on board a Norwegian Breakaway Plus Class ship in order to experience some of the best onboard activities that Norwegian Cruise Line has to offer. Number 6. Disliked. Stateroom maintenance. On this recent sailing with Norwegian Bliss, we stayed in a standard interior stateroom. The room was well equipped with great amenities and offered a modern aesthetic and comfortable environment for guests to make their room their home on the high seas. Our stateroom and bathroom were very clean and well organized, and the furnishings all seemed new and did not have aged, even though the ship was built about 5 years ago. I understand that cruise line stateroom attendants are some of the hardest working crew members on board cruise ships. However, on this trip, I was disappointed to discover on our first day that while the room was very clean, there were left behind items from previous guests still in our room. This was not too big of a deal. After all, the room itself was still very clean, but it did leave us a little annoyed that a room had not been searched properly for items belonging to previous guests. Number 7. Liked. Harvest Caye. This sailing with Norwegian Bliss was the first time that I got to explore Norwegian Cruise Line's private island, Harvest Caye. Harvest Caye is truly a beautiful resort-like island that offers plenty for guests to explore and have a truly wonderful day during their cruise vacation. Harvest Caye is an island just off the coast of Belize and has some really fun and unique offerings for guests to explore. The nature experience, the 6-acre beach, zip line, and large pool with swim-up bar are just some of the things Norwegian Cruise Line offers to its passengers on the island. This island is beautiful, and guests will love exploring it. The lush greenery combined with lovely beach make this island something that guests will really love. I personally think this island is one of the best cruise line private islands that currently exists, and definitely is worth checking out. Number 8, disliked, no water slide schedule. I really enjoyed that the Norwegian Bliss has 2 water slides on board. On our sailing, we experienced both of these slides, and can say that they are both worth a try. Something that we did not like was that there was never a posted schedule of when the slides were and were not open. Sometimes in the middle of the day, the slides would be closed for what seemed to be no explanation. I think this may have been due to wind or other factors, but it would have been nice to know the exact schedule of the slides and when they were supposed to be open again. Number 9, liked, Norwegian Cruise Line Excursions. On the first day of our adventure with Norwegian Bliss, we decided to book a shore excursion directly through Norwegian Cruise Line for the day that we would be visiting Roatan, Honduras. Booking this excursion ended up being one of the highlights of our entire cruise journey with Norwegian Bliss. I was thrilled to discover that this excursion booked directly through Norwegian Cruise Line was well worth the extra cost. The name of the excursion we ended up choosing was Turquoise Bay Horseback Riding Snorkel with Lunch. Number 10, disliked, the disembarkation process. No one likes the end of a vacation. Disembarkation day is always sad and something that every cruise traveler dreads. However, cruise lines endeavor to make the process of disembarking as painless as possible. I am grateful that our flight out of Miami, where the Norwegian Bliss was disembarking for our itinerary, was later that afternoon, because it took us about 2 unexpected hours for us to get off the ship on disembarkation day. From the moment we exited our stateroom and made our way to get off the ship, we were met with huge and winding lines that never seemed to end. This was the first cruise experience that I have ever seen where they conducted the security checks for disembarkation on board the actual ship itself. It was pretty safe to say that doing this made the process much slower than normal. My previous sentiments are just some of my own personal opinions about my recent experience on board the Norwegian Bliss. Other guests are sure to have different experiences and opinions of their own. We have thoroughly enjoyed our previous experiences on board with Norwegian Cruise Line so far, and we're excited to bring you more content from this awesome cruise line. Because everyone is different, they are sure to find things on board each ship that they like and dislike. The cruise line industry is ever expanding, and each cruise line is debuting more and more new ships, with more and more new innovations, amenities for passengers to enjoy. And so that concludes our thoughts on the 10 things we loved and hated about Norwegian Bliss cruise ship. We hope you enjoyed this video, and please make sure to comment down below, like, subscribe, and make sure to turn on notifications. Until next time, happy cruising!